What's going on, everyone? I just realized that I didn't have the other screen, so we're just right in this draft. It starts in 17 seconds. I'll throw the intro in here. I'm in the 3 spot, but let's do this. Not much of a surprise today with the setup and me screwing up the screen. We're gonna take Justin Jefferson. How's that? We're doing it for you, Minnesota Mike. Good morning. Matthew Caller of the Purple Insider reporting JJ McCarthy's first day of camp looked great. That's good to hear. And he had a 60-yard pass to Jordan Addison. That doesn't mean that Jordan Addison's ADP is going to stay the same. We know that's probably not going to happen. What's going on, guys? Lights out, New York. Eloso, I saw you in here. John, what's going on? Don't A80s hairband. A80s. The A instead of the AN. It's got to be N80s hairband. It's really messing me up. Oh, you're in the 12 spot. Nice. Pete, what's going on? Lutz, what's going on? Sal, Sporting Japan. Deeb in the house. Matt, good to see you. We sure it's not a clip from last year? Yeah. I think the Brandon Cooks one might have been from a couple of years ago. I think I said last year on the Becoming a Best Ball Bro, but I might have been mad. Matt says, quick question. Do you include Dynasty auction values as part of your Patreon? No, I do not include Dynasty auction values. I only include Dynasty rankings. How many hats do you have? I have a lot of hats. I feel less guilty spending money on hats because I wear them a lot. Godwin's ADP is getting crushed. Yeah, I wasn't really drafting much Godwin. I'm going to pull up my exposures again, like I did yesterday. But yeah, don't have a ton of Godwin, I don't think. Really was only drafting him whenever I had good wide receiver rooms, and then I had like stacks that I could go to. Yeah, 3% Godwin. Maybe that's bad. But I can get some exposure now because his ADP is falling. 4% in the milli for Godwin for me. I don't have Best Ball Explorer now. Are all your hats in a giant pile in your closet like mine, or do you have a... No, I don't have a better method of storage. They're actually right now on my dresser, just in a heap. What is this? Kitchen, go sign out of this account. Look at this. Look at this amateur over here. Kitchen is the coolest. You make it sound like I'm typing from this account while streaming. There we go. That was a quick turnaround, Kitchen. Impressive. All right, we got Justin Jefferson first. Look at this T. Higgins with Saquon when AJ Brown was sitting right there. Man, AJ Brown would have been sweet to get. Let's get Bucky. Let's go with some Bucky. I do think Chase Brown is going to be rising in ADP, so if he falls to the next pick, I'll probably snag him. Yeah, Kitchen logged into the wrong burner. Don't give Kitchen too much credit, Lutz. Okay. By the way, guys, Kitchen and I will be live on this YouTube channel. Oh my God, this can't be real. This can't be real. Dylan, you're not doing it. That can't be real, right? Now I got to look this up. It's 9:30 in the morning. Oh gosh. He was carted to the locker room. Hopefully it's a Tyrone Tracy situation. Hopefully it's a all right, we're going to Chase Brown. I'm definitely not getting Garrett Wilson right now. We're going to Chase Brown. We're going to start 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds. Yeah, hopefully he just had to like take a dump or something. That'd be not great if Justin Fields. Yeah, hopefully some cramps. I mean, who among us have not had to have, had to get carted to take a dump? I got to hydrate this morning. My early morning streams is when I got to hydrate more. So you guys are going to see more Mo Alley Cox. Justin Fields just limped off the practice field with a trainer at his side. He was too far away to see what happened, but he's under the tent being evaluated right now. Lower leg injury, maybe ankle. Here's the thing. We didn't get to 100 likes in the last video. In the video, we got to 95. You guys didn't even follow through and get that W to be able to choose my avatar. Let the training camp injuries begin. Yeah, I mean, this is rough. I mean, we'll see where Fields goes. I'm definitely, because I'm overweight, so I'm just going to avoid. I don't want to sink in more. Give us one more chance. Maybe. All right, look, if this video, this live stream, okay, by the time Monday hits, if it gets 120 likes, you guys can come to a consensus and choose what my avatar should be. I'll choose one of you in chat. One of the regulars in chat. So like a Pete or a Matt or a Minnesota Mike. One of you guys, or Dylan, one of you guys get to choose my avatar. And I'll randomly, we'll find a kitchen. You can find a way to randomize that. I'm not letting Deeb choose. We're not putting Deeb as part of this. Beefcake, what's going on? Don't think I've seen the draft strategy from Drafter 1 before. Yeah, I just realized they do have the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson turn, which again, I mean, it's kind of funny because no other quarterback has gone. That just makes those picks even worse. When Jaden Daniels doesn't go in round 3, we haven't seen Hurts, we haven't seen Burrow. They'll probably go in round 4, but still. What about Justin Jefferson headshot with JJ face photoshopped on? We'll do randomize everyone but Deep. Got it. There we go. There we go. This is the thanks I get for working overtime. Hurts just went in the first round of your draft right now. People are just concerned about the quarterback landscape right now. They're just reaching because they know that the go-to late round quarterback, Justin Fields, is banged up. Hypothetically speaking, what quarterback is going to be this year's injury insurance? You mean like that people could trade for? It's got to be Kirk Cousins. Like if Justin Fields is out with a significant amount of, or for some significant amount of time, you got to think that they're making calls. Even if they're not going to be like ultra competitive. Man, Jaden Daniels falling. I'm probably going to snag him if he's here. But JMO, we got to go Daniels, right, guys? With a team at the 101 taking 2 quarterbacks, we can get Debo. I don't have much Debo. What if we can get Pickens in the next round too to get that stack? I don't love only having one wide receiver through 4 rounds, but obviously there's Ertz also late. Eckler. Yeah, Tyrod, man. Sorry, Tyrod. Dang it. I really wanted Pickens. All right, we have to go wide receiver. We'll go Devontae Smith because it's just a safe floor kind of pick. Just thinking it through. Yeah. We'll just get Devontae. Burrow over Hurts and Jaden. Yeah, people love Joe Burrow, man. But that was more for the stat because they have T. Higgins. I haven't gone elite quarterback in a minute. Yeah, I think you do have to just basically pound wide receiver at this point. Probably reach for Debo. I'm actually going to star Debo right now. I haven't drafted much Debo, admittedly, because I'm like 3 or 4 wide receiver spots below market. I think Debo fits the Kingsbury offense because it's a little bit more horizontal than a lot of offenses, but I just don't know if he has it anymore. I think there's like when we're talking about an older player at this point, or at least not at the age apex on the wrong side of it, you know, it's a little bit scary. But I do think the fit makes a lot of sense. Yeah, man. We were talking about that earlier. It's a real shame if something's going on with Justin Fields. I think this is probably the right take, Vince. That Debo be real life or be better in real life for them. But it's just enough to like, you know, shift the upside of McLaurin and maybe not be super, you know, top 24 wide receiver himself with Debo, not McLaurin. But like it's not necessarily ideal. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you guys my Debo exposure. This is in the milli. Yeah, 3%. So I have not been drafting Debo, but I think I'm going to have to reach. He might not even be there the way this draft is going. These round 5 wide receivers to me are just so good. Honestly, though, I love Kenneth Walker, and I like getting these rookie running backs in the 6th, not in the 5th. James Conner's fine. Haven't drafted that much Chuba, as you guys know. But like, I love this group of wide receivers. I think Zay Flowers is overvalued. I think that he should be down here. And if you purchase the late round draft guide, there might be an update about that in the guide this week. What's considered heavy exposure? What's considered light exposure? Well, just think about so every player, all these players, you know, the guys that we like, the high end players, are drafted on average, you know, once in a 12-team league. So you're looking if you're overweight on a guy, you know, you might be a little bit overweight if you're at 10%, because 8.3% is one divided by 12. And then you're underweight if you're under that 8.3% mark. So to be really underweight would be obviously like 0 to 2%. To be overweight would be, you know, 12, 13%. To be very overweight, you could double up the field if you're at 16 to 17%, for instance. It means you're drafting them twice as much as what expectation would say. All right. So we'll get Debo. He's at the top of the ADP list too. That kind of worked out. But you also have to think with when it comes to exposure, you know, like I have a lot of Devon Vele, but I'm also heavily exposed in that Vele doesn't even get drafted in every league, in every draft. This could be a Diggs team. I could go Addison, but it's too early for Addison, I think. This is the one instance where I might go Addison, but man, we need a floor. We need someone who's not going to be what do we do, guys? We have Jefferson. Diggs would have been the pick. I don't like Judy where he goes. Could go Pearsall. What do you guys think? I'm not going Judy. I'm not going Judy Kitchen. We're going to go Pearsall. I think Judy is overrated. Yeah, here goes Mike. You know what I think. I just think that Addison's gonna keep falling. But it's not like Pearsall. I mean, I got Pearsall over ADP. I just think Pearsall's gonna start rising once people realize that he's playing again. The Judy stuff, I don't even know if I've drafted him in the millie. I haven't. I have not drafted Jerry Judy. Maybe this is my time to get some exposure. I don't even know if Jerry Jeudy's a floor guy. Is Jerry Jeudy a floor player? I feel like there's just so much emphasis being placed on Jeudy based on how he finished last season. Look at his splits with and without Jameis. Look at his splits with and without Cedric Tillman. It's not great. It's not great. Nothing changed about Jerry Jeudy last year as a player. If you look at him on a per route run basis, basically the same in yards per route run. The difference last year was that Cleveland threw the ball a ton. He had a ton of routes run. Now, that might continue because they're not going to be that good, but it's not something that I really want to bank on. Yeah, plus he had that huge game. I'm just, if Jerry Jeudy burns me, he burns me, right? That's how I feel about Brian Robinson. If Brian Robinson burns me because he scores 15 touchdowns this year, so be it. Yes, the Jameis splits are very real. I write about this in the draft guide. I'll actually pull that up. And I can tell you guys, because he's in the void in the draft guide, which you guys can purchase over on lateround.com. A lot of work went into it. Trying to pull it up. All right, here's his splits. I'm not going to read the whole blurb about him, but there was a 7-week stretch with Winston where Jeudy averaged 21.1 PPR points per game. He had a 24.7% target share per game rate during that stretch. Now, we've seen Flacco sustain production from pass catchers in different offenses in the past over the last few years. So maybe he'd be like that he'd be like Winston. The issue is that out of that split, he was giving us 9.3 PPR points per game and a 21% target share per game. And then if you look at how he played with Cedric Tillman, he averaged just a little over 14 PPR points per game and a target share per game of 19.6% with Tillman last year. When you're talking about like the upside of Pearsall or Stephon Diggs or even Jordan Addison, right? Addison went earlier than I expected, but even Jordan Addison, like there's just so much more upside with those players, and there's contingent upside for those guys that you don't get with Jerry Jeudy. That's one of the other downsides of getting these players in bad offenses who are already their alphas and they're not being drafted high, right? Is that there's no contingent upside. Cortland Sutton, a little bit different, obviously a better offense, but like Cortland Sutton doesn't really have that much contingent upside. This could be a Hawk team. We'll see if I get sniped. Yep, I got sniped. Man, these wide receivers are rough. Good Lord. Do we reach for Pittman? I don't want to go Bo Nix. This is a really tough spot. I'll just throw Ingram out there because we need a tight end. Now we'll go ETN. I want to get a little bit more of that Jacksonville backfield. Oh, look, that's what Mike said too. Just take ETN. Yeah, this was so close to being that Minnesota stack, and it didn't happen. You can sprinkle in best ball. That's fine. The thing with best ball is that I think there's just a little bit more of that variance of, sure, this guy could have a good week, and maybe it happens at the right time. Do we reach for Jaden Higgins? Or do we get Ingram now? We don't have any Kansas City. I mean, we're not going to be. This at least gives us an out for. We can go Pittman because we have ETN now, and that's probably more of a floor that we need. It's all right. Yeah, it could have been a Denver double tap, but also I didn't want to spend that much draft capital at quarterback. This was fine up until round 6, and then things just got. I would have loved to get this is what I would have loved to happen in this draft, because I think this is a good exercise for people who are, like tuning back in and maybe aren't as like deep into this stuff. But like, I'm fine with all the picks through Devontae Smith. Debo falls to us, so we get a good stack. Here in round 7, Khalil Shakir would have been a great pick because you pair him week 17 with Devontae Smith. Great. Here in round 8, TJ Hawkinson would have been a great pick because we have Justin Jefferson, right? And then round 9, whatever. But if we had Khalil Shakir and TJ Hawkinson instead of Ricky Pearsall and Travis Etienne, it would have been better. I've seen Knicks in round 9 plenty. I also just don't want to fall behind at wide receiver. Process question: with the 101 feeling like they never live up to expectations, recency bias likely at play, is it crazy to play 5D chess and take Bijan/Barkley at 101 instead of Chase? I mean, if you want to take a running back, that's fine. I don't think that that's the logic we should use. Like, a lot of times, ask it for a mailbag because I'll dig in, especially a wide receiver. We've had repeat wide receiver performances at the top. There's just natural regression. When you're a really good player and you're then boosted into round 1 because likely you had a really good previous season, it's just really hard to just maintain that. That's really what it comes down to. Doesn't mean that you're going to be bad, though. Like Jamar Chase, probably not going to, like, I think that the problem with that kind of analysis, because it's pissed me off in the past, and I've ranted about it. The problem with that, and I'm not saying that that's what you're doing here, D, because you're not. The problem with that analysis is that it's so binary. It's when you're taking a guy 101, the expectation should not be that he has to finish as the 101 in order to be a worthwhile draft pick. That is insanity. That's insane. The expectation is you're drafting a player here because he's going to be good, he's going to add value, and he's going to provide value. If he's a top 6, I can look at expected points per game to show you like what that range is. A couple weeks ago or a couple mailbags ago, I kind of talked about this, about expected points per game and stuff, and like guys living up to expectation and the way that people sort of describe that. Like if a running back's being drafted at RB7 and he finishes as the RB9, that doesn't mean that he was a bad pick. He was actually a great pick in that case. We could go McCarthy here. I think we just go McCarthy and we have a 2 quarterback build. Now we got to get some of those wide receivers. I need more Shaheed. Sounds like he's healthy. Obviously, big play guy. This is not the most correlated lineup in the world, though, so it's not going to look as sexy. That's for sure. If an elite upside quarterback gets hurt, does that push the other quarterbacks up? I think not necessarily. I think that's one of those situations you're just going to like react to what the market's doing. Yeah, exactly. I'll get Naylor late. I think this is a 2 quarterback build with Daniels and McCarthy. And I want to mix in a little bit more 2 quarterback builds. Yeah, that was with Ryan Heath, who did a really great article on Fantasy Points about like, it's basically like his version of the draft guide. Heath is great. If you had to place a percentage on it, how much does correlation impact your picks versus value? Value is number 1. If I'm doing percentages, like if it's a great value, 90% value. I feel correlation so big this year in best ball for week 17, but I feel so much involved to get to week 17 with injuries, pod luck, etc. To make week 17 feel like you're cashing in good anyways. Look, that's fine. Like if you want to take that approach, you can take that approach. I think that's just a person by person kind of deal. Prayers for Justin Fields. Yeah, man. I don't usually go. I never go double elite tight end. I think that it's a way to win your individual league, but I think it's tough from an opportunity cost standpoint to win like that in a tournament. I mean, that's more intuitive. Like that's just a subjective take. I obviously haven't studied it the way that like a Mike Leone at ETR has. Glad you didn't go with Knicks. Your quarterback would have gotten so much older. As an add to my previous question, how far would you be willing to reach down your ranking sheet? I don't have an answer for that. It just depends. It depends. It's really, really hard. Like I'll reach a round or two when we're in the late rounds, but if it's in the early rounds, I'm not going to reach, a full round or anything like that. I take zero stock in this. Quarterbacks talking up their wide, they should be doing that. That's what they do. So I don't care about that at all. Tyrod Taylor in the 11th. Did he go in the 11th? What? Oh my gosh. Why would you take Tyrod Taylor above? Oh my gosh, people. I love human beings. I just love humans. There's just zero, like, even if Tyrod Taylor is the starter, where do you think he gets drafted? Past Aaron Rodgers, probably, right? That's a fun exercise to have. If Justin Fields is out, Tyrod Taylor's in, where does he get drafted? I would still take Rodgers over him. Yeah, he could have easily gotten him in the 20th. He's so plugged in. Oh my gosh. All right. We can go Goddard. Let's go Goddard. I'm not putting a ton of thought into this draft, it seems like. But Goddard with Devontae, we need a tight end. What are we at right now? 6 wideouts, 3 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, and a tight end. I think Goddard's undervalued. TBH. Zach Ertz, we could reach for. I think we go Ertz here to get another piece for Jaden Daniels. Do I like Zach Ertz? No. You guys don't have to. I'm just trying to get the oldest tight end room on earth with these picks. That's it. That was my goal going into this draft. How old can my tight end room? You know what? We're going to get Tyler Higbee at the end of the draft. How old is Higbee? He's got to be like, 29? 32. I'm going to get Tyler Higbee at the end of this draft. Goddard's been good, man. That's the thing that's wild to me. I'm going to pull up my data really quick. I feel like people think Goddard's just like garbage. Let me pull this up. Dallas Goedert last year had his second highest yards per route run rate of his career. See you later, Deeb. Have a great day, man. Mercedes Lewis flyer. Exactly, Mike. He's got contingent upside for 2 wideouts in an offense that's going to throw the ball probably 100 times more this year than they did last year. Dallas Goedert last year, his targets per route run, second highest of his career. His yards per route run, highest of his career. His ADOT was still normal. His yak per catch was actually stronger last year than it was the year prior, with an ADOT that was 1.5 yards higher, meaning he was getting targets down the field more, which usually lowers that yak per catch, but it actually increased. I've been getting Goddard. Like I got Goddard in the pros versus Joe's draft I did. He's injury prone. Everyone's injury prone, brother. It's football. It's a violent game. All right, so getting a Cowboy would probably be good, but I think we're out of that range now. We're not going to really have any bringbacks here. This is just kind of a let's just get value team. Dallas stats are muddied. Wasn't it a game against the Saints that he went off? All right, I'm almost on the clock. Kitchens boy Cam Ward. We could go with the 3 quarterback build and stack later. Oh, we can't. Just kidding. I don't know, Jerome Ford. We just kind of need bodies at this point. Ford before that ADP rises more. You know what? We could go Jalen Wright. We could go Jalen Wright to pair with Bucky. We'll do that. I have a ton of Jalen Wright, man. Hunter Henry for the olds. No, I'm going to get a tight end in like the last round. Yeah, Woody Marks we can get late. Sure. I probably need more Chubb. Probably need more of this for my portfolio. This is a really weird draft. Like things just really aren't coming together from a correlation standpoint very much. What do we want, Chubb or Ford? What do you guys think? I'm going with whatever you guys say. We'll go Ford. I do need more Chubb. I need more Chubb indeed. Full PPR, I think Ford's the play. But I probably should have gone Chubb for exposure purposes. We're probably done at running back now, so we'll just get wide receiver and a tight end. 3 wideouts and a tight end. It's going to be interesting to see how you guys rate this team because I think that the players themselves are fine. And there are stacks, but I think this is going to be one of the lower rated teams. Here's a queso. JJ, obviously there are probably parts throughout your draft guide that anyone, regardless of level, can benefit from. But overall, what level of fantasy player would you say would benefit most? Probably I think that my audience in general is one that plays in more hardcore leagues than the average fantasy manager, but isn't necessarily like doesn't necessarily go like the high stakes route, right? So if you're in a really competitive home league, if you're in a, $200+ buy-in type league, I think that this would help you tremendously. But if you're a casual player and if you just want rankings, just go to the Patreon because there's a lot of detail about game theory, about strategy that you're probably not going to be as interested in. But if you want to learn more about fantasy football and sort of like a deeper dive in the inner workings of like how to be a sustainable winner, then I think it's for everyone. I've been fading Joe Mixon most of the offseason, so I'm it's more of a vibes based thing. But like the injury stuff just makes it even harder to go after him. Where did he go in this draft? I mean, he went 609, which I think is fair. I love this narrative that always gets pushed up. The Browns like Ford so much they drafted 2 running backs and told him, yeah, he's on the last year of his contract. It doesn't mean that like they're just not going to use him. My stance is, are they going to use rookie running backs when they're in constant negative game scripts? Because I don't know about that. All right, we should have been paying attention to some wide receivers. I always get De'Ami Brown. I think that pairs with ETN. He's kind of a floor. We need more like floor guys. We're going to get Naylor at the end of this draft. Yep, we all heard about the Justin Fields stuff immediately when it happened, so you guys can listen back. It's just, I mean, I don't really know what else we would say about it though. Maybe we get Arroyo. Although Mason Taylor is just still sitting. I don't know if I want to go Mason Taylor now with the Fields news. Not that Fields is like spectacular. I do want to get more Arroyo exposure. So I might reach a little bit and then just go wide out to finish the draft. We'll go Arroyo. He's too young for this old tight end room, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go Naylor over Ty Felton. I didn't think Ty Felton was that special of a player, of a prospect. Yeah, there you go. I won't answer too many questions because at 1 p.m. Eastern, Kitchen and I will be live with the Late Round Fantasy Football Show to talk about recent news, to talk about some data, to talk about some mistakes that people make when they're drafting. What are the odds of Jimmy Horn Jr.? Because I look, low key, my prospect model did not mind Jimmy Horn Jr. Okay. What are the odds, though, that he's actually going to find the field consistently? They have so many slot guys. And they have Hunter Renfrow now, too. I don't see a scenario where Horn is able to be a consistent contributor. Adam Thielen's going to play the slot. Jalen Coker plays the slot. Hunter Renfrow plays the slot. They need perimeter guys. I like Torrey Horton as a player. I just have a hard time investing heavily in that offense. I know I just took a Seattle guy, but how high is too high for Amari Hampton? I don't think he should go higher than like mid-third. I still worry a little bit about the receiving upside. But he's a great, like you guys know, I talked him up a lot during the draft process as a really good prospect. All right, let's find some wide receivers. Let's go wide receiver hunting. Who fits this build? We have Pittman. We could go Mitchell and pair with him, but I don't want to get too heavy on the Colts, I don't think. You guys have any favorite wide receivers? I'll gladly draft them. We can go Malik Washington. That's actually a pretty fun pick with this build. Go Isaac Tesla, who I'm not drafting that much of. Do we have any Rams or... Oh, yeah, Elijah Moore actually is great because we have 2. Isaac Tesla just got drafted. I think we're going to have to go Naylor next. Hopefully he's there. And then if we can get these 2, that'd be fun. You think we'll have Najee update before the Hall of Fame game 1 week from today? I think we'll get a little bit more. Yeah, is Rich Ryan in here? Rich, you doing all right with this Justin Fields news? Did we hear anything more aside from him getting carted off with the lower leg injury or something? That stinks, man. It's really a shame. All right, we'll go Naylor. Who gets drafted higher? Elijah Moore than Malik? Yeah. Maybe good news. Fields was seated in the front of the cart next to the driver rather than stretched out. Okay, that's good. That's from the Discord chat, the late round fantasy football Discord chat. Shefty posted an Achilles injury? That can't be the real Schefter account. He wouldn't just like speculate an Achilles. Here, we'll get Elijah Moore. We're going a 10 wide receiver build, which I think makes sense with how we started this draft. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's got to be a fake Schefter account. Come on now. You got, buddy. You got. Zero chance Shefty would say that it's an apparent Achilles. There's just no way. Shefty don't miss like that. Here we go. Look at this. Mario Golf 64 Talk spoke to me. So I bought the expansion pack and got to work. The medium range putting is it is really tough. It is. Because you have to, like, they're not giving you any like true guidance on break. Yeah, a lot of people, watch this time of year with the Twitter accounts. Yeah, exactly, Mike. There were rumors before the draft that Arroyo could play X receiver. Do you think it's BS? I think it's usually kind of BS, but like he's athletic enough, sure. I thought Arroyo was like my take on Arroyo as a prospect was that he was fine. I wasn't super high, wasn't super low. I thought Terrence Ferguson was that dude. The problem is that Ferguson obviously doesn't have the runway right now that Arroyo does. I actually have not drafted much Ferguson at all. I've drafted a lot more Higbee just based on the fact that the Rams seem to want to go in that direction early on. They might just slow play it, which wouldn't be surprising. Okay, sorry, Kitchen. I want to be cool to the people who are actually on this stream. As a reminder, if this video by Monday gets 120 likes, one of you guys can pick my avatar for 2 days on DraftKings. Deal. For real. Kirk Cousins got drafted. I'm assuming this is a what if Justin Fields is hurt and we sign Kirk Cousins move. I wonder if they have a jet. Nope. No Jets players. Just for fun. Maybe Kirk Cousins gets traded. Dynasty Daddy, what's going on, man? Good to see you. But yeah, 120 likes for this video by Monday. Because I'll likely do a stream on Monday, I would assume. By Monday. If this video has 120 likes, one of you can pick my avatar. Shefty said lower leg injury. Jets account said possible sprain ankle. Yeah, X is crazy, man. Oh, Malik Washington got drafted. Let's go to another wideout. Who do you guys like? Deontay Johnson's already banged up. We could literally just go anyone here. I haven't been doing as many draft guide giveaways. I should do more draft guide giveaways. But it's too late now, I think, on this stream. I don't have like any Amari Cooper. Like I've barely drafted Amari Cooper. We could go Westbrook Akine for the same exact reason we were going to draft Malik. I don't think I've drafted any Amari Cooper. I didn't like Jordan Watkins enough as a prospect. Oh, you know what? We should go Jalen Lane. We're gonna stack more Commanders. You guys will probably hate this pick. Kayshon Boutte. Yeah. I'm going Jalen Lane. He's kind of a Debo-esque kind of player. So it's a combination of maybe he gets some spiked weeks, but also I say Debo-ish. I mean the way that they would deploy him. He's not as beefy and like Debo, but I mean he's like a good athletic, low A dot potential guy that fits this offense, I think. All right, let's recap. Justin Jefferson, Bucky Irving. Remember, guys, I need you guys to rate this out of 10. Decimals are encouraged. This is going to be a very interesting rating. Very interesting rating. Not as fat. Justin Jefferson, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown. Now think about now when I'm going through this, think about the players. Don't just think about only roster construction and bringbacks and all that stuff. And yeah, it's getting unique with Jalen Lane. All right. Chase Brown, Jaden Daniels falls, so we get Jaden Daniels. Devontae Smith, Deebo Samuel, so we stack Washington. Pearsall, we talked about this range. We almost had a great team. Great team. If we would have gotten like Shakir or Diggs and then Hawkinson. So Pearsall, ETN, Pittman, McCarthy, Shaheed, Goddard, Ertz. So we got a little bit of Philly going on with Goddard and Devontae Smith. We got Zach Ertz to stack with Washington. Jalen Wright. No, you should be rating structure too. I'm just saying that the players still do matter. Jerome Ford, Jalen Wright, De'Ami Brown pairs him with ETN. And also Jalen Wright was a Bucky Irving pairing. Elijah Arroyo. We had to bring down the average age of the tight end room. Jalen Naylor from Minnesota. Elijah Moore for a bring back for the Philly Buffalo game. And then Jalen Lane, a low rostered, low drafted stacked player with Washington. I think 7.4 is fair. I'd probably even give it lower. 6.1, 6.5. Probably right with Deebo Pearsall. Look at this 8.8 team. All right, we got one person who's loving it. I'd probably give it a 6.9. Maybe a 6.5. Who is Jay Lane? Jalen Lane, Virginia Tech. This is me trying to remember what I wrote about in the prospect guide. Fidgety guy, can get stuff close to the line of scrimmage, can do a little yak, really athletic. I think he fits a Kingsbury offense pretty well, actually. Do I think he's going to be smashed? No. But I think it's important to add the story of how this team ships. All right, that's fair. How does this team win? I think this team wins if Deebo hits. I don't even think Pearsall is going to play. I think Debo's a really key thing here, a key player here. And then JJ McCarthy has to has to do him. I think that's probably how this ships. Or how it's competitive. Because McCarthy's going to rise JJF and Naylor will get a little bit more. 8.8 Gray, was that the team who drafted Tyrod, whatever you guys want to say? I think he said he wanted to be called Tyrod. Look at this. Let's look at the Tyrod Taylor team. Bijan, Trey McBride, looking great. Tyreek Hill, great. J-Mo, great. Pickens, great. Caleb Johnson, fine. Stephon Diggs, solid pick. Kyler Murray, paired him with Trey McBride. We're looking good. Trey Harris, love it. Probably maybe a little bit early, but fine. J.K. Dobbins, I love J.K. Dobbins. Tyrod Taylor. What are you doing? You had a good team. You were fine. My only thought is that they had him queued up and they forgot to make a pick. That's my only thought. Oh, this has got to be from the draft guide kitchen. But Lane at least brought a good amount of rushing production to the table. He ran the ball 46 times for 264 yards in college, something we don't get from a lot of wide receivers. That's what I say. That's why I keep making like the Debo deployment comparison, because he can be used all over the field like that. Look at that. Kitchen said, that's from the prospect guide. If you guys want a discount code for the prospect guide, email him, david@lateround.com. Should have went Mason over ETN. Yeah, that was kind of a panic pick, the ETN one, because I wanted Hawkinson and I wasn't paying much attention. But Jordan Mason was already gone, actually. So I couldn't have gone Mason over ETN. But it was a panic pick. This round right here, basically, Pearsall, ETN, and Pittman we were all hoping for like Shakir, Diggs, Hawkinson, and then who cares? I mean, this pick was just kind of in no man's land. So it was just a really tough 3 rounds. All right, guys, I got to get to other stuff. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in as usual. Good times. Some drafts are going to go well. Some drafts are going to be kind of mid. This one more mid than going well. But I think at least, if you can walk away and say it's fine enough, then that's all that matters. Sometimes these are the teams that do well. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll catch you next time.